Number 1. A constant lack of peace. Usually couples fight now and then. However, there should be more times of serenity and peace than times of fights. Arguing with your partner shows that you can express yourselves to each other. But if you fight every time about one thing or the other, it's a sign that the marriage between the both of you will not work. If both of you are fighting over everything, or you're fighting over the same issue over and over again, it's a sign that you are losing patience in dealing with each other. The fight may be about anything at all, but the point is that if your relationship does more of putting you down and leaving you weary, then the marriage between you both can't work. Maybe your partner can't let the past go. Like an archaeologist, they're always digging up the past and bringing it up to hurt you. They don't recognize that the past is the past for a reason. A good couple knows how to rise above hard times and forgive one another for their mistakes. A sign that marriage will not work is the constant upbringing of ugly memories. Digging up old arguments that have already been moved past is a sign that your relationship isn't very balanced and that you both don't feel very connected to each other as you once did. Arguing is already bad enough, but keeping score is much worse. It means that someone has been holding grudges, and your partner needs to recognize that you've changed from who you were when you both had those conflicts in the past. It's usually bad, especially when you moved on and can't remember what your partner is bringing up, and so you have no good way of countering the accusations brought against you. If your partner is always stuck on the past, it's a sign that marriage wouldn't work between you two. It's especially bad when you've let go and moved on and can barely remember those past events, so you have no effective way to counter the allegations against you. While every couple has their issues, there should be joy, peace, and happiness. When there are disagreements, you both should try to solve your disagreements. The problem occurs when both of you have a big problem solving. No matter how much you try, you can't reach a solution when you're both in a conflict. If having a life partner is a big source of exhaustion for you for any reason, maybe because of the fights or because you barely see each other due to busy schedules that can't align. If your relationship with your partner always seems to leave you in apprehension and discomfort regularly, then a marriage between you two will not work. It could be that you're always criticizing each other. While some constructive criticism from a partner is good, it becomes a huge problem if that's all you both dish out to each other. If you're always in doubt, still dwelling on a previous relationship, and wondering what sort of life you would have had with them, then marriage will most likely not work between you two, especially if you continue in such a manner. Number 2. Too many differences. For a successful long-term relationship or marriage, you both must have things in common. If both of you have nothing in common, you're not compatible in interests or activities, then marriage will not work between you two both. You should have at least some activities, interests, and knowledge in common. It's hard to be together if you both have different beliefs on major issues. Some major issue to consider is the issue of location. For both of you to have a marriage that would work, it's necessary to make a compromise on where is best to live. If both of you have different long-term plans regarding where to settle down, then this is a big issue to consider. Another thing to consider is the issue of kids. If one person wants kids and you don't want kids or vice versa, a marriage most likely won't work. If it goes ahead, one partner would feel unfulfilled and it may cause pain and extreme bitterness. If you have different religions, it could be hard for a marriage to work, especially when you have children. The children would have a hard time trying to struggle with choosing between two religions. Your partner may believe strongly in the family before anything else, while you believe that your career is first, or vice versa. In any case, such a difference would only cause huge hurt and misunderstanding. The difference may be in methods of finances. Maybe you're frugal and your partner loves to spend a lot. Then it'll be hard to make a balance. If you're experiencing major differences in the issues regarding kids, location, money, and religion, and you've tried to reach a compromise that is pleasing to both parties severally, but it's not working, then a marriage between you two will not work. Number 3. You notice bad communications between you two lately. As a couple, there would be a need to communicate. There would even be a need to communicate your disagreements. If both of you have reached a place in your relationship where you don't talk about your conflicts anymore, you don't fight any longer, then something is wrong. It's like you or your partner are now so passive in the relationship and don't bother to make things straight. If this keeps going on, there's the possibility that you both would explode into a massive argument that would end the relationship. If this has been the case lately, then marriage will not work. If you both can't fight, even when it's obvious something is wrong, then it may mean you're both expressing your indifference towards whatever happens in the relationship. A couple should be able to speak about touchy subjects, uncomfortable decisions, and conversations about several things like finance, kids, family. If every time you talk about a touchy issue, it's as though you're nagging, then a marriage between you and your partner can't work. For a marriage to work, you both must spend time together. If, for any reason, you notice that you don't feel like spending time with your partner, and it's as though being with them is more of a burden than a blessing, it's possible that you no longer care about the relationship between you two. Therefore, a marriage between you both can't work. In your relationship, there should be communication. Both of you should be the most important persons in each other's lives. If you notice that you have someone else you always feel like calling when you're emotionally down or when you have something to celebrate, it's obvious that you don't value them as the best and first in your life. Then a marriage can't work between you two. Marriage is a partnership, so it's important to share with your partner the information and decisions about your life and things that would affect them or your relationship. Number 4. You feel inferior to them or feel the need to change them. In a relationship, you should feel happy, safe, comfortable, and loved. You should appreciate your partner and love them, but you shouldn't feel inferior to them. If you're in a situation when your partner rubs it in your face that you should feel grateful that they chose you, then a marriage between you both can't work. If you feel you have to up your standards to your partner's standard and that you have to do so many things to keep them because they seem so precious and exquisite, then a marriage between you both can't work, because you would constantly feel the need to change yourself for your partner. If you're in the right relationship, your partner won't treat you as though you should be grateful that you got lucky for them choosing you. They should love you for your true self. Also, if you feel you're too good for your partner, you're not meant for them. In a loving relationship, you shouldn't think that a person doesn't deserve you or that you don't deserve your partner. You both should be comfortable being just yourselves, and you shouldn't feel the need to be changing your partner's personality or manner of life, like how they dress or the things they like to eat or places they love to go. Changing someone is drastically unloving and manipulative because you're trying to create a perfect figure for yourself, and it means that you don't truly love your partner for who they are. If you're afraid that being yourself isn't good enough for your partner, or that you constantly have to change yourself to be accepted and loved by them, then a marriage can't work between you two. Perhaps your partner isn't meeting up with your expectations, so you keep trying to change them to fit your requirements. If you're having to do this every time, then this person isn't for you. If they were you, wouldn't be having the need to change your partner. Because you can't stand them, you constantly feel the need to pick on every little thing that your partner does. If everything they do doesn't seem to fit, then you aren't meant for each other, and marriage between you two can't work.